Hello and welcome, this is Gunner, and we're back with some more Unity of Command. We're in a small-scale battle. We don't have a lot of turns to do things. Although I feel like the first turn went well, we didn't really gain a lot of ground, so we'll have to see if we can improve things. As far as I can tell, we can't build a bridge anywhere that would help us. More than likely, this bridge will help us. Now, supply is probably going to be the main reason we're going to want to build this bridge. To get that opportunity, because as we can see, 9 to 1, that's not really good. So definitely we need to get that supply a little bit better than it currently is. All right, let's go ahead and end the turn, see what happens. If I'm lucky, the enemy will retreat away from me, give me some breathing room, and also break their entrenchment. But no, it looks like they are bottling me up pretty well here. A good job on their side of things. That hurts a little bit. The main thing that Romanian unit is trying to do for me is just allow me to get all that space occupied in the first place. So if we get the opportunity, we will move them out of the way, but for right now, they're just going to be holding ground. We also have the possibility of crossing the river. But the Romanian unit, I think it makes sense to just do that where they are, but I'm gonna have to see here. This is where having airstrikes would definitely help. Let's see if we can do some damage to this cavalry. Wait to see if I can actually cross the river first. Alright. The weakened units were backed out. I want to be able to punch a hole here. I find that curious. Why can I do more damage here than I could there? Is it... Yeah, they're in marsh. This guy's in open terrain. Okay. Not sure doing damage here doesn't mean much good. I think in this regard, what I'm going to have to do, get the most ground made up, is I'm going to hit here. And I'm going to back up. Get this Romanian infantry out of the way. So I can then move more solid German infantry. And this is the unit that we can do pretty heavy casualties. Managed to get that going. You are going to move up into that slot. Again, I'm going to do casualties where I can do the most casualty. Because wearing down my enemy in numbers is going to be fairly important. Go ahead and move you up. Start driving here. Man, I'm getting my guys cut off from supply, unfortunately, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I'm really not sure why the supply isn't transferring over this river very well, because there is a bridge here, if it is intact. I guess it's the marsh that's directly across. Problem. Well, need to come down into this slot. So Fortunately, I can't really get as much ground made up as I'd like. That guy would be kind of bad to attack, so... Yeah, this fight is not looking like an easy one by any means. Now, this is across the river, is it not? So ideally, we'd want to cross back. Problem with that, I think the best way to do this, move here, here, cross, do damage. Perfect. Can't really take advantage of that though. Yeah, because I already moved all the units that are around it. Well, let's try and make headway. Where the we can capture this zone. We can build the bridge and then we'll be all right. And terrain isn't so crazy, I'm guessing, in front of that bridge. No, it's not so bad. So you are going to go here to hold that. You're going to go here to help out. So if I can get these two units working together and making sure that this is empty for me, I might be able to capture it. Fortunately, I think just the way I move things around, we weren't able to do that this turn. I don't like these odds attacking here, so I'm not going to bother. I'm going to try and take the best fights I can. I'm just a little afraid that I'm moving too slowly here. End the turn. Haven't plugged this hole yet. Still haven't plugged it. Okay, I think I may have that bridge. So... yeah, alright. Take it. So it's going to be up to you to just cross. And then we need to build that bridge. Okay, it'll take a turn for it to happen. But in the meantime... we're going to be... You know, some of my men are going to be out of supply, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that. If we don't want to go super slow here, we have to take that on the chin, more or less. Okay. I do want to move this guy, so... How are we doing on supply? You'd be out of supply, but it is. You move here, because there's not much else you can do. You're gonna possibly cross, but I'm not sure just yet. Definitely don't want to have anybody out of supply for more than a turn. So, as I said, I think we keep doing casualties where we can do the most. Move this guy back so he gets into supply. Not out of supply again for more than one turn. Alright, I would like to have some progress made up here, so I'm going to make it a fairly aggressive move. Because I don't know if the enemy really has that much potential to cut me off from supply. I'm not going to take it as aggressive as I could have, though. Come in here, do a lot of casualties. You know what? With Romanian infantry, I'll take one-on-one odds. Okay. Let's hit this guy again. Yeah, where we can do the most casualties. I want to weaken a lot of these units to make them easy to defeat in the future. Again, we don't want this guy to be out of supply for more than a turn. But I will gladly move this guy out. Just to hold the other side of the bridge, I'm going to move this infantry there. Can't do very good casualties there, so hold out. Infantry can't really do anything that helps me, so... Oh, you guys haven't gone yet. Well, I can do an aggressive move here as well. They're going to be probably cut off from supply, but as long as it's only one turn, I'm alright with it. Sure, we'll hit you. Actually, you. Okay, I didn't really want to take that casualty. Now you kind of open the door to me to wipe you out. Ow! That hurt a lot. Oh well, we get a unit wiped out, and the Romanian infantry is usually pretty useless, so if I can get a casualty done, that's alright. You know what? I'm willing to take a little bit of a risk here to wipe these guys out. Alright. And we'll move here just to hold the line a little bit. Okay, not too bad. Go ahead and end the turn. Now, we are supposed to get both of these objectives on turn 4. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, this is actually not too far out of the realm of possibility, though, because we do have quite a few units here. And just getting across this river was a real problem. Okay? I think I can do it within the turn limit, though, so we're not going to lose. But turn 4, I think, is going to be tricky. We just have too much opposition. Okay, they managed to wipe that unit out. I guess it's not too surprising. But he did his job. He cleared a unit for me. Okay. Like we maintain that supply because the bridge is built. So we're good to go. Yeah, I think this is looking even more outside the realm of possibility now that they move around. Cutting this rail line does absolutely nothing because they have supply here and here, so I'm not going to be far enough away from the supply that it really matters. Okay, well, Romanian infantry, do your thing. If you die, well, at least hopefully you take them with you. Yeah, you did. Good job. Have you do more of the same down here. That's going to be the job of the Romanian infantry. Just finish off units that I've already done heavy damage to. Supply is a little dicey still over in this section, so I'm going to get too aggressive with this particular move. I'm just going to come in, punch this guy in the face, and maybe the Romanian infantry can finish him off. Not. I'm particularly lucky with these casualties here. Okay, well, I think we should move up. Not sure if we'll be in supply. Looks like we will. Your job is going to be make sure we don't lose supply, get cut off. So. With that being said, could move in a more useful unit. That spot. But you know what? Let's move this guy down and hit this guy. It was unfortunate that we casualty there. So I'm going to max move you to here. And wipe some down a bit. Okay, you move directly in my way. Come in here and very little. Okay, I'm gonna come up, wipe this guy out, and we'll go here so they can't cut off my bridge. 3, 3, 3. Now, this push didn't go much of anywhere, so yeah, turn 4 is not going to happen. But to get a decisive victory, we have to do this in another couple turns, which I think is possible. Especially as we made very good progress on this turn. I think it's pretty possible for them to cut off this bridge from me. Although the marsh might stop them. We definitely need to move here. Okay. So here or here? Let's go with the cavalry attack. Now it is pretty darn possible they'll be able to cut me off from supply if I do an overly aggressive move. I mean, honestly, if I move up here, all this unit has to do is move this way, and he has cut me off from supply. So maybe I should just link up with my other men and try and prevent them from doing that kind of thing. Well, that's everybody having moves, so let's go ahead and end the turn. But yeah, progress has been a little slower than I would have liked. They did... I don't think they cut me off from supply anywhere, no. This guy's cut off, or at least he was for a turn. Not looking good as far as the kind of casualties. These guys are cut off. Your job. Hit this guy. Wipe him out. Okay, good job. This way. Okay. I'm gonna try and pick away at these guys. Job is to wipe this guy out that's in my way. I can get solid infantry in here. We need those engineers to come in and clear this guy. Okay, we already have the objective. We didn't get it in time, but that's okay. We could kill this guy just to make him not a nuisance. That's done. So all the rest of the infantry should focus more on wiping out the enemy up here. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, my engineer is here, so we might not be able to breach this guy. Use the Romanian infantry here. Take that guy down. Okay, so I have 3 units that can pull off an attack here. Go with the stronger attacker first. Fortunately, no breach. We don't want these guys to cut me off from supply, and they can do that. Just so that it's not a problem. Move here, kill this guy. Move here to solidify that supply line. Move there to do that supply line. Because I'm not going to be able to get the victory this turn no matter what I do. Next turn for sure. But this turn, not really. Okay, how are we doing in supply? Okay, we got it at the very least. On turn. At least I think that it's decisive victory on turn 6. I sure hope it is. Oh no! It did cut me off. That's what I hate so much about the AI, is they really do love cutting you off from supply. Even with a 1 strength unit. Makes them so annoying. We'll use the Romanian troops here. Good effect, perhaps. That's not enough movement to really get in there. Guess I'll use this unit because he's not that strong. Got the breach. Got the destruction. And this should be the... Okay, that was decisive victory. That one was fairly easy as far as scenario goes. But let's continue campaign here. We only got 275 prestige out of a possible of 500 though, so maybe not that successful of a mission for us, but it was a tough one, honestly. Looks like we cannot continue on to this one yet. We are of 8 of 13 scenarios completed, so let's see what we got here. So we already kind of talked about what this one was going to be. So let's just go ahead and start it because it's the only one in front of me. Okay, the faster the pincers connect, the more troops will be trapped west of the link-up point. Speed is essential. Southwestern front cannot be allowed to retreat in good order. 8 turns is our decisive victory. And then scenario notes on turn 2, 4 mobile units from AG South arrive at the river bridge at that place at the same time. 5 mobile units from AG Center arrive to reinforce 3rd and 4th Panzer in the northern part of the map. Okay, so that's a lot of forces coming in after we start. Let's take a look at this. So we're supposed to do pincers here. The problem with that is I have very limited armor. Okay, let's take a look at the objectives. So turn 5, turn 7. We only have 2 objectives. Wow, that's interesting. So Kiev, which is right in front of us, is actually a later objective. Very interesting. So probably the idea here is we cut them off from supply because their supply is probably well back. Yeah, so if we can cut this rail line right here, we have cut their supply. So we can starve out Kiev by doing that. So it's this rail line is the most important to our success. Every other rail line would just be important from a standpoint of getting our men supply. So if we can come down this bridge we might be able to cut them off fairly fast. So this should be the focus of our attack. Unfortunately, I have no airstrikes. I have no ability to build bridges. So if there's any bridges that are out, they're out for the scenario. Can't build more bridges, although I don't see any bridges that are out. The main problem is down here in the south. I have all of, what, 2 bridges? One all the way down here, which I don't have any men to take advantage of it. And then one right here. Now, the problem may be that we don't have much supply if we were to cross here. Maybe worth doing. Although granted, we do have a cutoff point here as well. All right, so right now, main obstacle we have is this guy that's sitting on the bridge. So let's hit him with our engineers. Got the breach. See if we can drive him back, perhaps. If I have to, I can move the engineers back. Let's try and hit with this guy. Try to get that move back. We can hit with this guy as well. Managed to destroy. We lost 1 casualty, but I'll take that. I don't really have necessarily experienced troops. I think we want to get as many people across this river as we can, so that. Because you've already attacked, that might be a good move. You got 2-1, 1-1. Yeah, I don't think these attacks are going to be good just because of the entrenchment bonus my opponent has. I definitely think we should do, though. We don't want him to cross the river here. That's a certainty. Because this guy here can cut me off from supply pretty easily. Just by hopping over the river. So we do want to stop that. At the same time, if I can, I'd like to cross this bridge. But we can also cross the river with men down here. So it's going to be kind of a slow move, but it will get us going in this direction. Okay. And it gets us across this river and maybe able to cut these guys off from supply a little bit better because their supply line is going to come along this. We can come across this river. We can cut this line perhaps. Okay. I think the only move that's really safe, they may be able to move here. That wouldn't cut me off from supply. They could also move here. I think we're okay to move this guy across the river. He's not going to get cut off or anything. Unless they're completely able to destroy this unit, which I doubt they'll be able to do, because do that. They only have 2 units. This guy's going to be cut off from supply fairly quickly if we can get in on this move. We have a lot of men entrenched around Kiev. That's probably a good idea to just let them sit. What can we do over here? Ideally, we just want to stop them from being able to cross and cut our line, because they could cross here, they could cross here. Both things we don't want them to do. But I think staying in a central spot is probably a good way that we can counter either of those moves. So I think we just have these men sit tight. As much as I can move up here and cross the river, it wouldn't be doing me much good because we wouldn't be in supply. We have no bridges nearby. So we're able to capture this rail line. Not really a lot I can do. Now over here, these men, I don't know what we're going to be doing with. We'll have to wait and see. But we have a lot of rivers here. I could have them spread out a bit more than they already are. I could have this guy cross the river here. Probably a good idea. But I think we're in supply. Yeah, we should. Then have this guy move up so that maybe, you know, he can cross the river. And we'll kind of do similar supporting moves over here. I mean, the attacks here are going to be terrible. These guys are all entrenched. We have a whole possibility here. This guy is not entrenched, so we could probably wipe him out pretty quickly. The problem is that doesn't really accomplish anything. We want to get across this bridge. This is already looking like a pretty tough fight. I'm guessing because this guy's in what, woods? In woods. Tough to deal. Yeah, I think we're going to have to wait for our reinforcements before we really have much ground made. Do a lot of casualties on this guy. And in a situation like this where we have kind of a stalemate going, I think it does make sense to inflict what casualties we can. So let's hit this guy pretty hard. Just murder him, I guess. Now the trick of what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to support these guys so they don't get encircled. So I'm going to move this tank unit here. And we're going to try and keep moving. Let's hit this guy. Breached him, that's good. That'll help us for next turn. So what we want to do here is we don't want them to just be able to walk across here and cut these two guys off. So what we want to do is we want to move a unit in there to prevent them from doing that. So I think this cavalry's a good one to do for that. And as far as what my infantry can do, I really don't know. I probably don't have really a strong attack point, except for maybe this guy who's not entrenched. But unfortunately, it's a situation where I don't have good... I mean, he's in terrain that advantages him. So the enemy is pretty well set up here. Where they're in open ground, I really can't get to them much. We have a lot of heavy terrain here. The weather like. I haven't looked at the weather screen in a long time. Not something we really had to worry about. Alright, well, this is kind of a slow first turn, but if I don't want to take massive casualties early, this may be the way we have to go about things. Made some ground with our tanks. We'll have to let the enemy do their thing. Maybe they'll move out of their entrenchment and we'll be okay. So we'll let them do their thing. See what happens. See what comes of things. As I said, we did make a hole here. Let's see how the enemy reacts. That's the kind of thing we want to see. The more they move, the more they break their entrenchment. So in their reaction to try and stop my breakthrough, they're actually making it easier on me. That's why I often hold on my first turn and don't do a lot of things. We know we're going to get a lot of reinforcements on this turn. Yeah, they really back their men off. They've got this line of entrenched men. Just about everybody else is not entrenched. We'll be able to punch through this guy, I think, fairly easily, because he was entrenched last turn, he's not this turn. As long as my infantry can follow this move, we'll be alright, and I may be able to actually cut these guys entirely off from supply by cutting this rail line. Okay, well, let's focus on the south first. Because my enemy has more or less given me a lot of things. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and link up with there we go. Get that supply going. So now I can cross the river and not have to worry about supply so much. Maybe very slightly out of supply. What to see. No, I'm just in supply. Okay, so I crossed the river. I'm sure if it did me a lot of good to do so, but we could also move into here. I think my enemy has just opened me up to be able to move as I wish over here. I do have to worry about the supply lines, though. You're entrenched. You're probably the only one that's entrenched. I think we should continue pushing here. This guy's a danger, though, because all he has to do is cross the river and he can cut my supply line off. Really don't want him to be able to do that, so I may have to move a couple units down here just to stop that. That may make it so I can't really drive here too much. That being said, the enemy can't really threaten me up here, so all three of these units can move. Let's move this unit here. This unit here. I've just seen the enemy do this to me too many times to allow them to do it to me again, just cut me up from supply like that. I actually do damage here with my engineers. Alright. A little bit of damage, but may open up more damage there. Okay. Well, that unit's not as big of a threat. It's still a threat, though. I can't just ignore it. So what we need to have real victory here is we need to continue along this line, but obviously the tank is stopping me. I should probably check to see what my reinforcements are going to be like and then kind of figure out where they're going to be and how we can do things. We might be able to forge across this bridge and get some things done because, I mean, we are a decent supply. As long as we don't try and go too far into these marshes, we may be actually able to drive in here and capture or cut off their supply line here. And then these guys are going to be really hurting for supply because the next closest one's here. And, you know, with all these rivers and woods and things, might not get to them. So I mean, we're going to try and do that with this infantry, but we may be able to do it with other reinforcements. So we have a fairly large force pool, and I think we're going to look into that in the next video, perhaps. Let's see what we've got, though. You actually have to hit the deploy, see where they're going to end up. So we have got a little bit of a center push there that we could do. With this guy. Same thing. With this guy. Thing. With this guy. Thing. And you're up there. Okay. I'm going to zoom. So roughly in this location, we're going to have a bunch of reinforcements. So we could, you know, spawn a tank, have it come in here, see what it can smash. I might be able to break this guy out of his entrenchment. Honestly, though, I think the tank should move here and then try and break the enemy tank. I don't know how successful we'll be at that, but I think that's going to be a stronger move. And then, I mean, honestly, I almost kind of want to move this guy out of the way so we know we can get two tanks in here. We try and smash the... Try and smash this tank. And then we try and get somebody over so we can capture this rail line, perhaps. But again, I'm going to save that for another video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.